Welcome to Bruce Hurwitz Presents Meet the Experts. I'm your host, Bruce Hurwitz of Hurwitz Strategic Staffing. You can find us on the web at hsstaffing.com. I hope you'll consider us for all your staffing, career counseling, and professional writing needs. Today's show is a bit unique. I don't have a guest. I will be explaining to you the why and how of creating a LinkedIn newsletter. Meet the Experts is sponsored by P&K CPAs. P&K is a full-service accounting firm. They provide accounting and consulting services to businesses ranging from startups to small and mid-cap companies to nonprofits, as well as high net worth individuals. Contact them today for a free consultation at info@pk-cpas.com or call them at 973-882-8810. They will be happy to be of service. You are now looking at my LinkedIn homepage. What I'm going to do is to begin with the end. I want to show you how powerful a LinkedIn newsletter is. I go to me. I go down to posts and activities. I click on all articles. And I want you to see, this was the last article I published the old-fashioned way. And you can see that I have 303 views. The one before that had 130. The one before that, 114, 124, 78. Usually when I get to 3 digits, I'd be happy. But then I got the newsletter. And my first post had 819 views. The next one had 1,507. Then it will drop down. They all can't be winners, but still 432 is better than what I got the old-fashioned way. And now for the last few weeks, 1,956, 1,878, 1,611, 2,224, 2,104, 1,903. So we'll call it a rounding error. 2,000 people are reading my articles every week. That's the power of a LinkedIn newsletter. Now, going back to the homepage, I click on my network. And I click on newsletters. And this is where I find my newsletter. For whatever reason, I'm listed twice. It's probably because I'm not only the author, but also a subscriber. And the reason that I subscribe is because I want to make sure that my subscribers are receiving 2 notifications. One, that the latest article has gone live, and 2, an email saying the same thing and with the link and the content of the article. I go to the home page, click write an article, and then go to my personal page, not the company name. As you can see, here it says publish, and here there's a drop-down menu. If I want to publish something the old-fashioned way, just an individual article, I click on individual article, and if I were to write something here, that is what would come up. And it would just be a regular article. If I click here, it's part of my newsletter. Now, because I have the newsletter, I can't show you exactly how to go about doing this. in all details, but this will be close enough. The important thing for you to realize, and now I'm going to go back to my articles because I want you to see something. The reason that Hurwitz Strategic Staffing appears 3 times is I've been using this article as an example of how to go about setting up the newsletter. But you can see I've got contacts now at Penn Medicine. Whatever Saudi Business Machines is, they know about me. So does the Department of State. This is not a quirk. This article here the Australian government, the International Rescue Committee, and this is always changing. And West Point, which for me, since the mission of my company is to promote the hiring of veterans and other national heroes, having connections with West Point and knowing that they are reading my articles is important to me. But let's look at this week's article, which was published on Sunday. I like to publish at 9 a.m. on Sundays, and you can see there were 7 reactions. This was the first, and this gentleman is a 2nd-degree connection. That means that someone who we are both connected to read the article, liked it, did something, and that's how he found it. Now, the strange thing is, in order to find out who your subscribers are, the only way is to go to an article and actually open it up, and then you can see. And the most recent person to subscribe is a 2nd-degree connection. We are not 1st-degree connections. They're a 2nd-degree. And if I go down a little further, it's always more difficult when you want to do something quickly. You'll find 3rd-degree connections. So unlike a constant contact or a newsletter, including my previous newsletter, which I'm no longer using, when you publish something and you send the link to a subscriber of your newsletter, if they like it, nobody else in your network is going to know about it. While on LinkedIn, literally the entire world has the potential to find out about it because you don't know who their 2nd and 3rd-degree connections are. The important thing is, in order first to be able to create a newsletter, you have to have 500 1st-degree connections. But I apologize, I lost my train of thought for a moment. I want you to see, this will take a moment. You can tell I'm doing this live and that I am not all that good at it. I want you to see the notification that subscribers receive, and it should be coming up fairly quickly. Here, when I published my last article 2 days ago, this is what came up on my feed and feed of every other subscriber. New from Bruce Hurwitz, HSS Employment Insights, how to be the best candidate. So all of my subscribers received this along with an email. Now, how do you go about doing this? Creating an actual newsletter. So now I have to go to my profile. Scroll down and you come to resources and you should have creator mode. Again, you need to have a minimum of 500 first-degree connections. If you do, you will be able to set up a newsletter. And if I have failed to explain properly how to do this, you can just click on here, learn more, and these are LinkedIn's instructions, which are pretty easy to follow. But let's go back. We have here my homepage. I click on write an article. And you can edit, but the first time when you set up the newsletter, this is what you're going to get. So the title can only be 30 characters and spaces. You can set it up to be a daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly newsletter, but you can only post once in a California day. I'm on the East Coast. LinkedIn's headquarters are in California, so that's why it's a California day. What does this mean? At 2:59 a.m., I can post an article. Even though I have my newsletter set up to be weekly, every day I can post an article. I could do one at 2:59 a.m., which would be just before midnight in California. And then I could post a second one at 3:01 a.m., which would be just after midnight in California. But I cannot post something at 9 a.m. and then 10 a.m. the same day here on the East Coast. I'd have to wait 24 hours or until the next day in California. So it really doesn't matter if you set it up as weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or daily. I set it up for weekly. With my workload, I can do this. Other people can do it monthly, bi-monthly, whatever you want. Now, you have to describe what the newsletter is. And here you've got 120 characters and spaces. You upload a logo. Once you've done this, and again, I can't show it to you because I've already done it. Once you've set up the newsletter, and you can't have two, you can only have one. Once you've set up the newsletter, LinkedIn will automatically ask you if you want to notify your connections. And of course, you should do that. That's the only way to get this to work. Now, again, I'll start at the beginning. You go to you're on your home page, you click on me, you go to posts and activities. You will be able to see your articles, and you'll know they've been published, and you'll be able to see who it is that's interested in your work, where they're located, and what their titles are. But to write an article, you go to your homepage, you click on Write Article. Make sure you're using your personal, which is what it will default to. And now I'll show you the article that I'm going to be publishing this coming Sunday. So I go to my drafts. This is the article. If I were to click publish now, it would be published as part of the newsletter. It's not ready to go. Create an individual article. Now, if I were to click publish, it would just post as a normal article, and some of my followers would be notified, some wouldn't. The beauty of the newsletter is that they're all notified. Now, once you hit publish, a box will open up and you write a message. And I want to show you how I handle the message. What I do is I go to Word and I write a little blurb about what the article is about. So in this case, it's in this article, I link to my podcast on why and how to create and hashtags are important. So a LinkedIn newsletter. And once you've published the article, LinkedIn will give you the URL. So the URL will go here. I cut and paste this, and then I insert it as a discussion in all of my LinkedIn groups, my Facebook groups. I post it on my Facebook pages and to my other social media. Whenever a newsletter article is published, I will go to my good friend Gil Efron's blog, which he has just recently started. Here it states there's a button that says subscribe. So you don't have to ask people to subscribe. They'll click on it. I've subscribed. You'll notice it says 116 subscribers. If this was my newsletter, and I might as well show it to you. If this was my newsletter, I would be able to see who the actual subscribers are, but you can't do it by opening up the newsletter. There's no hyperlink for whatever reason. So you have to go to an actual article. And here I can see who my subscribers are. And you can see this gentleman is the most recent. He's a second-degree connection. Before that, a first-degree connection, and before him, a third-degree connection. So I am reaching people who I would not have been able to reach with my normal article. One other thing that you should do, now I'm going back to, clicked on me, now I'm going to posts and articles. I click on articles. You see here the three buttons. You should click this star, which will then make the article featured on your profile. And if we go to my profile, you will see that all of my articles are featured. So whenever anybody sees my profile, they see what I've done most recently. And that, in a nutshell, is the LinkedIn newsletter, which I strongly recommend you take advantage of if you have a minimum of 500 connections. If you don't, get them. This is a great marketing tool. I know people who are leaving constant contact because this is more powerful. You can reach more people because you can reach people to whom you are not connected in any way. I hope you have found this broadcast of some help. If you have any questions, send me an email. I'll be happy to respond. I'm Bruce Hurwitz. Thank you for watching. And as always, please Stay focused on success.